So, it just so happens that the next few episodes that we'll be working through happen to be parts of series that we've stepped away from for a little while. So, The Magician's Nephew is what we've already read that, and now we're getting back into the Narnia series with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is probably the most well-known of C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia. It is kind of the cornerstone. This is the book that actually started the series way back in 1950 something or other. Oh, 1950 exactly. So this is the book that started off the series and is really what it is known for. It introduces all of the main characters that you follow throughout most of the series. You have the four kids. The four kids are Lucy, Edmund, Susan, and Peter. That's in they're all older than each other. They're siblings. And then you have the lion, Aslan, who is kind of the Jesus figure in this book, and you also have the representation of evil in the White Witch, who is, it doesn't say specifically, but who is Jadis, who we saw in The Magician's Nephew. We also saw Aslan in The Magician's Nephew, and Diggory makes a cameo here as the person who is taking care of the four children, the Pevensey children. So that's kind of carrying on from The Magician's Nephew, even though this was the first one, so it kind of was preemptive. I'm not sure how well C.S. Lewis planned these Chronicles of Narnia. I'm not sure he knew this one was going to be as big of a success as it was, but anyway, so the story, as I said, follows these four kids. They go through this wardrobe and find this magical land of Narnia. I am really spoiled a little bit, I think, because I remember the movie version that Disney did so vividly, and I've heard a lot of conflicting thoughts about that movie version. I really like that movie version, especially because now that I've reread this book, I realized just how much work they did in trying to correct a lot of things that C.S. Lewis did. First of all, one of the disappointments, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this because we're talking about the Pevenseys, the kids really do not have any personality at all. In The Magician's Nephew, you can kind of tell that C.S. Lewis maybe had done a lot more thought into his characters at that point, maybe had gotten a little bit more comfortable writing fictional characters, because right now, the Pevensey children, Edmund is the best characterized, and he's actually my favorite, of course, because he actually has a character. He's kind of the bad kid who he's kind of selfish, and he feels that he is ignored by his siblings and or just straight up abused by them. Not in a bad way, but like in a, Edmund is the bad kid kind of way. And so Edmund leaves the group in Narnia and goes to be with the evil queen. But the other three kids, Lucy, Susan, and Peter, really have no characters other than they're the good kids, so they just smile and say happy things. The movie really did a good job of trying to make, Susan the straight-laced one, and Peter the kind of leadery one, and Lucy's the cute one. Like, they at least tried to do that. C.S. Lewis really does not give us any characterization of them whatsoever, which was really, really disappointing on rereading of this. So anyway, back to the story. Edmund goes off to join the bad side because, his siblings want to be on the good side of Aslan. And so the siblings get worried about him, and the people who are with them, the beavers are the people who originally helped them figure out their way through Narnia. Actually, I think the beavers are the best characterized people in this. Like, Mr. Beaver is kind of, he wants to get things done, and Mrs. Beaver is kind of like, she wants to get things done too, but like in a more cute, like supportive way. Like I appreciated their little bond thing that they had going on, how a sweet marriage they had. I really think they were some of the best characters in the book, which is really weird to say. Anyway, so the beavers take them to Aslan, and so we're already over halfway through the book at this point, if I remember. We're definitely over halfway through the book. And then you see Aslan. Aslan is definitely the most important character of the book, and you probably sort of learn the most about him, and you're supposed to really feel a connection to him. Problem is, you introduced him to us with like 50 pages left in this like barely 200-page book. That does not give us very much time to feel for Aslan in the way that I think you are supposed to feel. And the connection and bond is not as strong, especially when you go on, and spoilers here, sort of. You probably already know sort of what happens. Especially when the evil queen, takes Aslan and sacrifices him on the stone table. You've known him maybe a chapter length, and these are pretty short chapters anyway, and so yeah, you feel something, but you don't feel as deeply as I think you could have if the story was better configured and done in such a way that you are actually understanding the characters and you start to love them and grow a bond with them, and then that happens. I just feel like the pacing and the way that the characters were done was very poor and did not bring out the best in the characters. The character we spend the most time with is actually the evil queen, Jadis, and you actually get to a point where you understand. Like, I understood her emotions the most. I understood why she was trying. I sort of understood why she was trying to take over, but she's just evil. But most of all, I get the disappointment and the anger when her way is not. She's not able to get her way when Aslan comes and tries to destroy everything. And then I understand her triumph when she finally kills Aslan, and she actually gets a better. Like, she gets her own separate death scene. She just has the most complete arc in this little book that we have, which is just, again, really weird, because that's not what you're supposed to be focusing on. Obviously, you're supposed to feel most for Aslan. But because of the way that it's done and the way that it's paced, I really don't think that it was done well. All of this to say, I was kind of disappointed. The story is so good. The foundation is so well laid out. And again, I'm spoiled by the Disney version, which I think fixed a lot of these things. They were trying to make it way too epic, like a Lord of the Rings thing. Like, this is not a Lord of the Rings thing. But they did fix the characterization problems. They fixed the pacing problems. And now that I've seen that movie so many times, and I come back to this book, I look at it and I go, wow, there's just a lot that C.S. Lewis missed out on, a lot of things that could have made us feel more. So yeah, that's the thing with Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then the ending is just weird. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. So this definitely fell short for me as opposed to The Magician's Nephew. Magician's Nephew is definitely higher up on the ranking of the series. I liked The Magician's Nephew a lot more. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, because I'm guessing this won't be a very popular opinion. I don't know, though. Perhaps I'm in the majority and just don't know it. We'll see. So, thank you guys for watching, and next time we will be moving forward in the Percy Jackson series with the Sea of Monsters. So, get ready for that. Bye!